We've got barbecue back here. You're all invited. Welcome to the Sloopcast. How are you doing today, Kyle?
I'm doing all right, Jared. It's nice of you to wear the same shirt that you did in the last episode.
Well, I only wore it for the episode, so I figured, I'll just put it on the back of the chair and then I'll wear it again tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because if it's not dirty, I'm going to wear it.
All right. Fair enough.
And thank you, Kyle, for wearing the same shirt that you wore last episode.
Consistency.
We definitely don't record these on the same night.
Of course not. All right. Enough chit-chatting here. We're going to get into our SlooPicks week 10. It is week 10, Jared, and that makes me a little sad. And it is November, which makes me even more sad, knowing that we are in the last third of the regular season here. But we got 6 picks. We got 6 games to pick from here. So let's not waste any more time and we'll jump right into it. Is that good?
Sounds great.
All right. We're going to start off with a Big 12 showdown of Texas Tech and TCU. TCU, one of those teams that is a fan favorite down in our Sloop Cats. They feel that TCU has been not judged correctly. Felt like that they should have been ranked higher than where they're at right now. And I agree. No, listen to our Tuesday episode. Yeah, Tuesday episode, and
where we ranked TCU fourth.
Where we
ranked
TCU.
I screwed that up. You were doing a tease, and I just gave it away for free.
Thanks, Jared.
I ruined it, and I apologize.
Right, TCU coming into this game 10.5-point favorite, and to go along with everything I just talked about, TCU feeling disrespected and all that, I'm taking TCU here. They got a lot to prove here. They're like, you know what? Screw you guys. We're going all in here, and we're going to just destroy Texas Tech here. So I'm picking the Horned Frogs.
These teams are pretty comparable defensively speaking. They allow approximately the same opponents yards per play. Same approximate completion percentage, same approximate third down conversion percentage, defensively speaking. But if you take a look at the offense, TCU has 7.2 yards per play, which is excellent, versus Texas Tech's 4.8, which is, when you consider they've been playing Big 12 defenses all year, not that great. Points per play, TCU nearly doubles. TCU gets a sixth of a point every play, and TCU is about half of that. I think TCU is a significantly better team. I think that they have figured out, or they are in the process of figuring out, that you have to not just win, but win in a certain manner if you want to not be the lowest ranked undefeated team. I think Jared's right for once. Thanks, gangland. Additionally, TCU is 4-4 against the spread this year. TCU is 6-1-1 against the spread this year. So it seems to me pretty obvious that TCU's the pick here.
All right, awesome. And this week's picker we have, I got to scroll down here. I need to put this
in. It's Buckeye Matt.
Yeah, Matt.
You put that all the way down at the bottom.
I did. Yeah, I'm just going to copy this and put this in my notepad so I have it handier. All right, so he has red Big 12 team versus purple Big 12 team. Whatever the over is, take it. This is going to be an offensive showcase. Most likely will have a combined 1,000 yards of total offense in this typical Big 12 game. Don't be surprised if we see TCU have another game where they are down multiple scores to an inferior opponent, but TCU will cover and will put the game late. Give me the Horny Toads, 58-45. That's a lot of points. What is the over under in that game?
I was just looking that up.
I'm gonna beat you because it is everyone's favorite over under number of 69.
Nice. I'm gonna take the over on that.
Yes. All right, next game here, Jared, as I'm attempting to scroll up here. Probably the biggest game this weekend. It is the biggest game this weekend. Tennessee and Georgia. We got two top 4 teams battling it out here. Winner of this will be the number 1 going into next week, Jared.
Yeah.
It will be. 3:30 kickoff, CBS in Georgia, where the Bulldogs is an 8.5 point favorite. It seems like a lot, Jared, but why do you think it's 8? Why do you think that Vegas has Georgia as an 8.5 point favorite?
I don't know. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I think the number. You're asking me to give away the answer right off the top, which is kind of a bullshit maneuver on your part, if I'm being honest. But yeah, I don't understand that number. I think is way too big. We've seen Georgia not look great at times this year, which is probably why the committee put them third. We saw them struggle against Kent State. We saw them struggle pretty bad against Missouri. We saw them even their FCS school that they played. They didn't win by I think they missed the I think they missed the spread by 20 points that game. But when they go to play good teams, like Florida, like Oregon, they tend to show up a little bit more. Kent State is good. No, they aren't. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you look.
Well, one of the biggest things to keep in mind here is that on the year, Tennessee 7-1 against the spread, Georgia 4-4 against the spread. That to me, in both cases, feels like a significant trend. So I will go ahead and pick Tennessee because against the spread, they're a considerably better team this year. And again, 8.5. If this was 6.5, I feel like it should be 5.5, 6.5. 8.5 is just way too much. Give me Tennessee.
Yeah. I'd take Tennessee to cover here. It's going to be a one possession game here. I know we always you hear always about Tennessee. This is the best offense here, and the scoring at in every drive. But honestly, you look at Georgia here, they're not that far off from Tennessee. Tennessee averaging 49.4 points per game. Georgia 41.8 points per game. So one less touchdown per game. Right there with Tennessee. The big difference is the defense. And Jared and I have mentioned it a number of times here. Tennessee's defense, it kind of reminds me like Ohio State last year. Fantastic offense. Defense, not so good. They're letting up almost 400 yards per game, while Georgia, 262 a game. That is significant in terms of defense efficiency here. So I'll take Tennessee. I will take Tennessee to cover here because I think it will be a close game, but it would not surprise me if Georgia does stuff Tennessee here. But I just for the picks here, I will pick Tennessee to cover.
Yeah, I think Georgia wins, but I'm not going to pass up 8.5 points.
Yep. So Buckeye Matt also says the winner of this game will be ranked number 1. Tennessee going 13-0 is also the best choice to have only one SEC team in the playoff. Fortunately, that won't be the case, as the Vols will have their first loss in a heartbreaker. I think Hooker will be humbled by this elite Georgia defense. Give me Tennessee to cover but lose 30-28 on a missed game-winning field goal. He also says, fuck the SEC.
Fair. Who's next?
All right, who is next? We have Oklahoma State and Kansas. Did you pick this game, Jared?
I did. It was the 7th game I picked.
Okay.
Yeah.
3:30 on Fox Sports 1.
There were 5 incredibly obvious games. The Ohio State game, which we always pick, and then I had to find another one.
Oklahoma State.
It was this, or it was Air Force and Navy. And now that I've said that out loud, Nomad's going to be upset at me.
Oklahoma State coming off that dreadful loss last weekend, didn't put up a single point. See how they rebound, as they are only a 3.5 point favorite in this game. And I'll take Oklahoma State here. I'll take Oklahoma State. I think they'll rebound here. They're not as bad as what last weekend showcased, but I think Oklahoma State will bounce and beat Kansas here.
What, you want a wild stat?
Sure.
Oklahoma State's third down conversion percentage, defensively speaking, they're only allowing a conversion 26% of the time.
Ooh, wow.
That being said,
26%,
26.42. That being said, on the offensive side, they're only converting about 37.5. Well, more like 38, more like 38.
And that's not good either.
Right. I'm having a hard time seeing Oklahoma State cover this spread. And quite frankly, I have an easier time envisioning Kansas like full blown winning this game than I do Oklahoma State covering. So the one hesitation I have here is that like 3.5 points just isn't a lot in the Big 12. That's like a 1.5 in other conferences. But yeah, I'm taking Kansas not to only cover, but to win. Now you might be asking, Jared, is this your choose your chaos game of the week? No, it is not. I have a bigger fish to fry.
All right. Fair enough. All right. And Bucket Matt says here, looky here, 2 teams who are hyped up just to have their seasons come crumbling down. I really could care less about this game. Won't even watch it, honestly. Give me Kansas with the upset because Jayhawks is a cooler mascot than a cowboy. Give me Kansas 30. Give me Kansas 35-31.
By the way, I just want to point out that this game is opposite Tennessee, Georgia. No one's going to be watching this game.
Yeah,
just
agreed.
Tossing that out there.
All right, next game here is another Texas team taking on another Kansas team here. Texas versus Kansas State.
Kyle. Did you just say Oklahoma State is in Texas?
I'm sorry, another orange team taking on Kansas. Ooh boy. I better stop while I'm ahead here.
Are you Texas drinking tonight, Kyle?
Never. Texas is a 1.5 point favorite.
Yeah, Texas 1.5 point favorite. They're the only 3-loss team to appear in the initial playoff committee's top 25.
And that's because they looked good against Alabama, Jared.
Well, I would also argue that like they're a better team with viewers. I honest to God, will maintain, and I will die on this hill. They beat Bama if Ewers doesn't get hurt. I've said it a bunch of times. I'll say it again. I don't care. I'll repeat myself. Yep. I'm not above it.
I agree.
All right.
So you're gonna pick Texas in this game?
You know, I literally just said that like 3.5 points is in the Big 12 is really 1.5 points in every other conference. And here's a Big 12 game. This is a pick'em. I am treating this like a pick'em. But here's the thing. I kind of like Kansas State. I really like their defense.
You tell.
I really like their defense, which by Big 12 standards is pretty good. I think that they're not as good as Texas offensively, but I do think that like defensively that they're a significantly better defense. Not as talented, but they feel more cohesive. The teams are pretty even against the spread. This is a hard pick for me because I think it just comes down to who wins the game, and it's played like a pick'em. It might as well be a pick'em. I'm going to take Kansas State just because I think they win.
What's rule number 2, Jared? 2 or 3?
2 or 3. Austin, lore master, can we get a check on that?
Whether it's ducks.
That is not one of the rules. That is not one of the rules.
When in doubt.
When in doubt,
pick the quarterback.
Pick the quarterback. Is that rule 2? No, rule 2 is don't real life gamble.
That's right. Rule number 2 is don't real life gamble. Rule number 3 is when in doubt, pick the quarterback. I'll pick Texas here.
Actually, I kind of like Adrian Martinez now that he's the quarterback at Kansas State versus the quarterback at Nebraska.
I mean, I like how yours is playing here. So I'll take Texas here. I'll take Texas.
Austin knows our rules better than we know them.
I
just want to point that out.
Buckeye Matt. Let's see what Buckeye Matt says here. I thought it was a long paragraph, but I didn't have a space in there. He says, I'll keep it short and sweet. Texas wins outright. I really don't think this will be a game. Give me Texas 40-21. Really? A third Big 12 game, Jared?
It's an entertaining conference this year. But right. Gangland, you just pinned a comment in a thread that we delete after every episode.
You better save that somewhere else. All right, we're moving on to probably the second biggest game. Yeah, it is the second biggest game of the week here, and it's in the SEC again. Alabama and LSU. Is this a setup here? It's night game. It's in Baton Rouge. LSU's is an underdog here.
By 13.5.
It's the perfect setup. It's the perfect setup for an upset here. And
don't bet your patronage on it.
I got the Tigers to cover here because it's a rivalry game. You throw everything out, you throw records out. I think LSU's onto something here. Again, it's last week. It's one game, the most recent game. They've looked good. Can they keep that up from last week, or are they going to go back to what we've seen them to be in the start of the season, where they are just a mediocre team? I'm going to go with the first, and I think LSU will keep it close. So I'm going to pick LSU to at least cover.
We're all real down on Bama this year, and I get it. It's Bama. The standard is up here.
Hold on. We got something in chat here, Jared. Austin says LSU wins this game. I bet my patronage on it.
Please don't do that.
And then it says, nice knowing you. And we have some salutes there.
Up here, the standard for Bama is up here. So we're all looking at Bama right now. and saying, wow, they're not very good. But what we're really saying is that they're not very good for Bama, which means they're about right here, which is still really, really good. It's still
Jared's house on LSU to win.
No, you don't. It's right here. They're still an excellent football team. They win this game way more often than they lose this game. Now, luckily for LSU, they only have to beat them once. But Bama wins this game 66% of the time, 75% of the time. That being said, 13.5 points is a lot. I do think Bama is the superior football team. I do think Bama wins this game. Just say 66.6, you devil worshiper. 66.6% of the time, I think, because Saban. 66.6% of the time, because Saban. Yes, excuse me, Satan. Mispronouncing things. I'm glad someone got the joke. Yeah, I think Bama is a superior football team. And again, like, we're all saying down year for Bama, down year for Bama, down year for Bama. They're still a top 5 football team. LSU is getting a lot of stuff done with a running quarterback, and that shit's just not gonna fly. No, they're a top 5 football team, you guys. Like, talent wise, they're a top 5. They're probably top 3 in all honesty. I still think they're in the top 3 best teams in the country. I mean, talent wise, they're number 1.
Yeah. So you got Alabama to cover?
No. 13.5 is too much. Like I said, I said Bama still wins this game 2/3 of the time. But that also leaves a whole third left over for LSU. And with a 13.5 point spread, that's too many points. That's too many points. Although I will say there is a decent chance Bama totally slaughters LSU. Like, this might be a game in which, like, it's 21-0 after Bama's first 3 drives, and we're all like, what the hell were we thinking? A tradition as old as time. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just looking at LSU's schedule earlier, where they got slaughtered by Tennessee and barely beat a very bad Auburn team. And mentioned before, are we going to see that kind of LSU, or are we going to see the LSU that slaughtered Ole Miss? But yeah.
Austin says, hold on.
Buckeye Matt says.
Austin says, I love when Jared makes a whole argument in favor of one side, then completely contradicts the entire argument with his pick.
As is
they noticed. They noticed.
All right. Buckeye Matt here says, I really want LSU to win, like really, really bad. Jaden Daniels will give this Bama defense fits all game. In the end, it won't be enough. I thought you could have gone somewhere else with that, Buckeye Matt. This game will be extremely close until the fourth quarter. Bama will seal the game with a Jaden Daniels interception. Bama wins, but does not cover 35-30 because fuck you, Saban.
Fair.
Could have done a Lincoln Park reference there.
Death Valley is a tough place to play, man. You're not wrong.
It is. It is. Yeah. At night too. All right. And our last game, Jared, it is not a Big 12 team. It is not an SEC team. It's not even a conference on conference game. It's Clemson and Notre Dame. Clemson heading to Notre Dame, where last time they went to Notre Dame, they lost. If you recall that game. Will Notre Dame have that? Sorry, chat got me distracted. Notre Dame, can Notre Dame have that magic again here against Clemson? They are a 3.5 point underdog here, or will Clemson have another one of those games where they come out in that second half and be like, oh yeah, we should start playing football and seal the game. But are we going to see that kind of game, or what do you think, Jared?
I think I'm looking through the stats. Yards per play, teams are nearly identical. Points per play, Clemson has a slight advantage. Completion percentage, about the same. Third down conversion percentage, about the same. On the defensive side, opponent yards per play, about the same. Opponent's points per play, about the same. Opponent completion percentage, nearly identical. Opponent third down conversion percentage, almost the same number. Against the spread this year, both teams are 4-4. Kyle,
Ooh.
These are the same football team.
But who did Notre Dame lose to?
Hey, there, Kyle's a step ahead of me. Let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at that schedule. Let's take a look at his schedules.
They're the same picture.
Yeah, they're the same picture. Clemson beat Georgia Tech, terrible. Louisiana Tech, terrible. Wake Forest, not bad. NC State, was this post or pre injury to Leary? Do you remember? Was this NC State with Leary? Because it's a totally different football team. October 1st. Anyone remember that?
Oh, for Clemson?
Well, for NC State, yeah. But when NC State played Clemson, I literally got two contradicting answers in the chat.
He got injured. That was before he got injured.
Okay. So that's a pretty good win. Boston College is a bad football team. Florida State's, they're okay-ish. Syracuse, good football team. Not a great football team. It's a good football team. Notre Dame, however, has played Ohio State, then Marshall, then California. Neither of those. Then North Carolina. It's a good football team. BYU, pretty good football team. Stanford, well, they lost to Stanford, and Stanford's not very good. So, okay. And then they also defeated Syracuse. Oh, both of these teams have their most recent game against Syracuse.
Ooh. Tell me more, Jared.
Syracuse played at Clemson. So it's a home game for Clemson. Notre Dame went on the road to Syracuse. Notre Dame won by 17. Clemson won by 6.
Ooh.
Finally, a difference.
Ooh.
Finally, I found a difference between these two football teams.
Other
Kyle?
than the records.
Shh. I say all of this to say, I say all of the, both of their helmets are terrible. That's right. I said it.
Ooh.
Oh, there's actual gold flake. I don't give a shit. Notre Dame.
Both teams have trash uniforms.
Seriously, orange and purple. Can we actually... Orange and purple? Worst color combination in all of sports. I'll say it. Worst color combo, all of sports. Clemson. I am picking Notre Dame. Aside from maize and blue. Listen, I get it. This is an Ohio State, but like blue and yellow is not bad. Now maize and blue, that's terrible. That's garbage time. The Rams, blue and yellow, not bad.
Like even their uniforms, Jared, like
because it's lighter.
Their,
yes, Austin.
Purple,
yes.
Purple is one of their colors, but they don't even like showcase it at all. It may just the stripe on the helmet. That's
well,
it.
sometimes they do. Like the Chargers powder blues are great. 100%, Austin. We're in total agreement. All right.
Yes.
Back on track.
All right.
I am picking Notre Dame to cover. I am picking Notre Dame to win.
Ooh,
this is my choose your chaos of the week for Jared.
Jared's choose your chaos. I really wanted to pick this one. I really do, but I got Notre Dame to cover here as well. They've, of all the things that you said, Jared, and I'll just add on, Notre Dame finally finding their offense here. Granted that they played UNLV, but they did play Syracuse last week. 44 points, 41 points, finally finding their offense here. And their defense is not bad. And we talked about that at the beginning of the season. This Notre Dame defense is good. They just got to find their offense here. Have they really found that? How they really found that here? We'll find out this weekend. But yeah, I'll pick Notre Dame to cover here, though, Jared.
Okay. Oh, by the way, Matt, please feel free to also choose a chaos game.
Yeah. All right. And speaking of,
by the way, real quick, another Notre Dame thing I want to point out. They had a respectable performance against Ohio State. Lost to Marshall. Failed to cover against California, but they won. Then they beat North Carolina, handing North Carolina their only loss of the season.
Yes. A lot of people forget about that.
Then they beat BYU. Again, a good team. Then they turn around and they lose to Stanford. They turn around, they beat UNLV. Congrats. They did fail to cover, for the record. And then they turned around, and again, Syracuse, good team, pretty highly ranked. They won that game by 17. Notre Dame plays well against good teams and like shit against bad teams.
So that means that if Notre Dame wins this game, they're going to lose next week to Navy.
I don't give it. I don't care what happens between Notre Dame and Navy. That's none of my business. That will not be a sloop pick next week.
All right.
Unless it is. I'm just saying Notre Dame. They're winning this game.
See what Buckeye Matt says here. He says this game will help the cause for two Big Ten teams to get into the playoffs. DJ will have another god-awful game and will be benched in the third quarter after he throws interception number 3. Notre Dame will cover and get a convincing home win and will help Ohio State's resume. Give me the Irish 31-17. He also says, I fucking hate Dabo.
That's fair. That's a totally fair.
So someone find that GIF of Dabo and put that in there. Everyone knows what that GIF is here.
They know.
But that is all of our picks here, Jared. We covered the Texas Tech TCU game, Tennessee, Georgia, Oklahoma State, Kansas, Texas, Kansas State, Alabama, LSU, and Clemson, Notre Dame.
Yes, that one.
Yep, that's the one. And then if you want to listen to our Ohio State Northwestern coverage, listen to Thursday's episode.
Listen to the Thursday episode, guys. Come on. Kyle, do we have any questions in the mailbag?
Oh, I think we may. Let's scroll down here. All right, we have a hypothetical. We have a hypothetical chaos question here from Buckeye Matt.
This is a lot. Let's see if my ADHD mind can hold all of this.
All right, you ready? All right, hang tight, guys. I'm going to try to be as clear as I can here. So Buckeye Matt says, I'm a playoff chaos lover and always tried to think of scenarios that could happen, but most likely never will. In your opinion, who gets in and in what order if the following happens, Jared? Okay, so you may if you have a pen or if you have a notepad open, Jared, you may want to want to write this down here, okay?
I can see it on the screen.
Okay. Ohio State, starting from the top here. Ohio State is 12-1, but loses in the Big Ten championship game. 12-1. So that means that they beat Michigan. Okay.
But they lost to Illinois. I cheated. I looked ahead.
Okay. Michigan is 11-1 with a loss to Ohio State.
Okay.
Giving them only one. Just one good victory all year. Okay.
That's
Illinois is 11-2.
Also beat
with losses to Teton, Iowa, Indiana, but wins the Big Ten.
That would be Illinois.
11-2.
No, that would be Illinois.
Illinois.
Yeah, I was about to say, in this scenario,
Illinois loses to Michigan and Indiana, but wins the Big Ten championship game.
Yeah.
But Jared, 2 losses. Okay, keep that in mind. Georgia's 11-1, loses to Tennessee, and does not play in the conference championship game.
Okay.
Alabama is 11-2 with losses to Tennessee and LSU, but wins SEC by 3.
It would be difficult for Bama to lose to LSU and still go to the SEC championship game.
Yeah, that would be.
That would be difficult.
LSU would have to lose. They would have to lose to Arkansas and Texas A&M.
Arkansas is dog shit.
Okay, I just hypothetical here. Okay, Tennessee is 11-2, gets upset by South Carolina or Missouri, and loses the SEC championship game. A 2-loss Pac-12 champion, a 12-1 TCU team that loses the Big 12 championship game. Kansas State is 11-2, wins the Big 12. Clemson is 11-2, loses the Notre Dame and ACC championship game. And UNC is 11-2 with the losses Notre Dame, NC State, but wins the ACC. That's a lot of chaos there. A lot of chaos. So here's
okay. Hold on.
I will tell you the 2 easiest ones in my mind here. 2 easiest ones would be Ohio State and Georgia would be in.
Kyle,
I think Georgia and Ohio State would be in.
I scrolled back up to the SlooPcast rules, and I highlight one of them.
Highlight? You highlight one of them?
Highlighted? I don't know. I've heard both.
All right.
Do you see which one
What is that? What is that rule?
That is rule number 12. Don't lose twice.
All right. So that means
eliminate all the 2-loss teams.
Oh, I can. So I could. That would eliminate Tennessee, Clemson. So the one thing that the committee
Ohio
always
State.
likes. The one thing the committee really likes, Jared, is a conference champion. But in this scenario, it looks like pretty much every conference champion has 2 losses.
It's almost like Buckeye Matt went to a lot of effort to make that happen. All right. You have Ohio State in, Teton
Georgia
in, Georgia in.
Because the thing that Georgia would have going, the thing that Georgia would have going for them is that they have if it's a close loss to Tennessee, I think the rest of their schedule will, and just already high expectations from them, they would be put in. So even though that neither team would be a conference champion, I think both teams would be in.
Matt says, yes, I did. Talking about setting it up so that like none of the conference champions would get in. Yes, I did. And my head fucking hurts. Yeah. And by the way, kudos to you. The only mistake I found in this was the complete unlikeliness that Bama could lose. Yeah. Yes. Kabutos to you. Excuse me. Kabutos to you, and also to you. Would be Bama losing to LSU, but somehow still getting into the SEC championship game. That's just not very likely. It would be, yeah, okay, no, it would not be that.
You know what? I think Austin said it best. I think Austin's right here. It is rule number 12: don't lose twice. So the answer here, Jared, is
TCU does not have a conference championship game, Austin, in this scenario.
Ohio State would be 1. Georgia would be 2. Michigan would be 3. And getting in that 4th spot is the SlooPicks team, TCU.
Yeah. Are they not one loss? They are.
In this scenario, TCU 12-1, losing in the Big 12 championship game.
Yeah.
Yes.
I agree, Austin, but I don't necessarily agree with that order. I think it depends. Like, Georgia, of course, like how they lose, yada yada yada, all plays into it.
It'd be Ohio State 1, Georgia 2, Michigan 3, and then TCU 4. We would have TCU versus Ohio State, and then Georgia and Michigan fighting again.
OSU won't be 1 over Michigan after losing to them.
No. In this scenario, Ohio State loses in the Big Ten championship game. Michigan would not go there because they lost to Ohio State.
Austin, we have the unfair advantage of being able to read this. It's fine.
I mean, well, it is in the Ask Sloopcast section there for you, Kabuto, if you, or you're all Kabutos, Austin, if you
there are a bunch of Kabutos.
If you want to look at that. I only have one screen. Oh, okay. Yeah. But yeah, I think we're just going to make it easy, Jared. We're just going to answer. It's the teams with 1 losses: Ohio State, Georgia, Michigan, and TCU.
Yeah.
But that's not how it's going to. That's not how it's going to be. But that's how I would go.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not going to waste a ton of brain cells on the seeding anyway. But those are the 4 teams. Remember, conference championship matters in a afterthought sort of way.
Yes.
I don't know if I want to say, I know they say tiebreak. I feel like it probably matters a little bit more than that. I think it matters in head-to-head more so than it does in tiebreak. There's a subtle difference there. But I would say that I would assume that's how that goes. Kyle, that's it. That's our show, right?
That is it.
Kyle, did you know that we have 2 t-shirts? Oh, God damn it.
Try that again.
No,
deep breath, Jared.
I quit.
Deep breath.
Listen, I get to the end of the 2nd episode, and as we have established,
t-shirt.
I want to buy t-shirts.
What you started, Jared. Look what you started.
I'm trying to picture what a t-shirt would look like. What is happening? What is Tony? Oh no, Minnesota. Oh no. Minnesota is currently tied at halftime. Basketball. Basketball. 31-31 with St. Olaf. But it's an exhibition, sure, but also it's St. Olaf. God, Kyle, did you know we have 2 separate t-shirt stores? We have the 7071 store, which has like a bunch of Ohio State stuff. It's kind of cool. Not Ohio State of Ohio stuff, not Ohio State stuff. That would be illegal. This is just stuff from celebrating the great state of Ohio. Then we have our merch store, which is merch.thesloopcast.com. And that has a bunch of like podcast merch, stuff that has our name on it, stuff that is us off to the side of Ohio State merch. It's not Ohio State merch.
Nope.
Don't send your lawyers after me.
It's not.
Again, don't send your lawyers after me again. Yeah, the state of Ohio iBucks, exactly. But it's a bunch of podcast merch. But if you don't like, oh, Jared, we want to support you, but I don't really want to wear podcast merch. I get it. Head over to 7071 and you can buy a bunch of cool shit there too. Is this the place where I can buy t-shirts and sweater jeans? I mean, those are just sweatpants. Like, I feel like you tried really hard and I appreciate that, but those are just sweatpants. I can't picture what a t-shirt is in my mind. Hey, Buckeye Matt, you tried. It's okay. T-shirt is a crop top, of course. See, I was trying to make it work on the bottom half of the body. Like, what would a t-shirt look like on your legs? But no, you're right. A t-shirt is a crop top. You're absolutely right. I hate when Austin's right, but when he's right, he's right. We don't sell any of those things in the merch store. Those are just t-shirts. Maybe some other stuff, but it's mostly just t-shirts, hoodies. There's hoodies.
Yeah.
Okay. Kyle, we're off the rails. Do you have anything in Kyle's corner?
You know what's special about the day that we're recording, Jared? November 2nd. You know what November 2nd is?
It's 2 days ago for anyone listening to this on the day it came out.
It is. Anybody in the chat know what's so special about November 2nd?
That it's 5 days before the day we entered World War II.
It is get out your memes here. It is National Ohio Day.
Ohio Day. Listen. I need everyone to hear me on this.
Always has been.
Every day is National Ohio Day.
Especially on Saturdays in the fall.
And I've been saying that. Austin, we have been saying that, but they aren't ready for that conversation.
Yep. Other than that, no, I got nothing, Jared. I got nothing here. So let's end this this shenanigans here.
You missed shenanigans. Shenanigans is the nickname for our other show. All right. That's it. That's the end of the show. Once again, or for the first time, not once again, for the first time, tonight's ending music, it makes me crack up every time and I hate it. I can't breathe. If you want to understand these inside jokes, join our Discord server at discord.thesloopcast.com. No, don't. Yes, do. The Turbos are a band from Columbus, and they will be ending today's show. So with all that being said, I'd like to encourage everyone to drink local beer, listen to local music, and of course, support your local podcasters. Once again, this is the Turbos. These are the Turbos? These are the Turbos.